right, thanks to everyone for joining us for our final weekly or press conference with head coach Lance Taylor. The Broncos head to the Myrtle Beach Bowl next week to take on Kennesaw State on Friday at 11 a.m. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll take questions.
I'm extremely proud of our team for their belief and buy-in all year. The grit and resilience that our players, staff, coaches, all of our organizations showed to win a MAC championship. But not only to win a MAC championship, all the things that we overcame through adversity that brought us closer together and forged a bond that showed the heart of a champion. I think that this team wrote their name in history by the bond that they formed, the brotherhood that showed on the field, but all parties within the organization doing their job. And that's what I told our staff, our coaches, our players after the game. Was I was so proud. It took everybody in the organization, it took everybody on our team doing their job to the best of their capability to reach and fulfill our dreams and goal, which was to win a conference championship, the fourth in WMU history, which is special. But I'm excited to get one more game with this group, the bowl game. We're excited to be announced to go to the Myrtle Beach Bowl against a really good Kennesaw State team. It'll be a great test for our team, and we also have a chance to continue to write history to be the first team in WMU history to win the MAC championship and also go win the bowl to get to our 10th win. But we're going to have to play a really good team and play our best in order to do that.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Lance. First off, when you saw you guys were going to play Kennesaw State, just what was your reaction to that? What are you looking forward to about playing them?
Excitement. Anytime you get an opportunity to go play in a bowl, I think it's excited to be selected. I was excited because it pits two conference champions against each other. You've got Conference USA champion. They have 10 wins. It's a really good football team, well-coached football team, and so are we. MAC champions. An opportunity for us to get 10 wins and to play one more game together as a group.
Yeah, and shortly after the MAC championship, you get a new contract. Did Dan kind of surprise you with that, or was that in the talks?
Yeah, I think, let me just say this. I want to thank our leadership, AD Dan, President Russ. I think, their leadership is one of the reasons why I'm here, one of the reasons why I was blessed with this opportunity to lead this football team here at WMU, and one of the things that brought me here to begin with. And my family and I couldn't be more excited to be in Kalamazoo and continue to chase and build this program. Our goal was not just to win, one championship, but to continue to elevate this program, elevate the standard, to bring multiple championships. And I've always said, and Dan's had the same vision, we don't want to just continue to win MAC championships, which is awesome. It was one of our first and major goals that we wanted to do was win a MAC title. We want to go to the first CFP game in school history. And so I'm thankful for that opportunity. Yes, they did let me focus on the championship game, which I appreciate. We didn't talk about it until really the night after the championship game. It came together pretty quickly, but I knew where I wanted to stay and where I wanted to be. It was an easy decision, and I'm thankful for the commitment that they made to me to continue to lead this program, but also to our players and our staff. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I want people to understand through this is the commitment that Dan and President Russ made to our program, to our players, to continue to build and continue to give more resources. And I think that that's one of the things that makes WMU so special. It's why I came here. One, we have great support. We have great resources. We have a great fan base. We have a great community. And we have great leadership that sees the ultimate vision of continuing to elevate the standard. And, I think that through that, we're going to be able to give our players more and hopefully keep a great staff that, I'm excited and proud about. And I thought did a great job this year in helping to win this championship.
Facing Kennesaw State coming up, it's very similar to you guys, a very kind of havoc-inducing front seven, led the Conference USA in both TFLs and sacks this year. What are some of the challenges for you guys in your offense in facing a front seven that's as talented and disruptive as this one is?
Yeah, a very talented team. I think well-coached, very disciplined. Coach Jerry Mack has done an excellent job in his first season. I think that they won 2 games the year before. Now they've won 10 games. They won Conference USA. It is a very similar team. I think when you look at their football team, they are very similar. They have won a ton of close one-score games, as have we. They lost to Jacksonville State in the regular season and then beat them in their conference championship game, similar to us. Their defensive front has created havoc all year. And their offense has been incredibly efficient. I think we do it in different ways. We're built differently, which I think will be a great test and challenge for our football team. And what I mean is their quarterback is really dynamic, but they spread you out. They oversplit with their wide outs. They've got really good team speed. They go fast. We're a little bit more methodical on offense. We huddle. Time of possession is critical for us, but we want to do it. At the end of the game. We both play complementary football, and I think it's a great matchup, not only for our football team, but also for fans. When you get two conference champions, I think when you get two G5 champions, it's a great matchup for fans to be able to take part of it and as well.
You mentioned the matchup of two G5 champions. You also mentioned the playoff being a goal of yours in the future. How important is it for the group of five to have a matchup like this, standalone game on national television between two conference champions?
I think it's really important. I mean, one, I think anytime you can, take two G5 conference champions and I think it makes for great TV. I think it makes for a great storyline. I think it makes for, a great bowl matchup. I'm glad to see it. I hope we do more of this in the future. And so, for those teams that, aren't in CFP contention, right? You've got, JMU and Tulane. Congrats to them. They're all that's where I think all of us want to be and aspire to be and are continuing to chase. But if you're not one of those, let us play in basically a playoff game in our bowl game. Let us go play a conference champion and, settle it on the field.
And then how important is it for you guys as a program? We just had National Signing Day. Winning a MAC championship, winning a bowl game, having a 10-win season. What do all those things kind of do for you guys as a program in recruiting and kind of talk around the program?
Winning a MAC championship elevates the program in so many ways. I think there's so much excitement and momentum around our team, around our program, around our city. There's so much pride and joy in Bronco Nation, and then that just feeds over. And you want to, as a coach, you want to be able to captivate and continue that momentum. And how can you, continue to accelerate the program with some success? I mean, I think now there's tangible. I call it tangible evidence when you've got a trophy and you've got a championship that, hey, this is what we've been working for. We told you when we got here, this was one of the things that we were going to do. Okay, now here's the trophy. Here's the championship. We're going to continue to win more. And we need more, we need to continue to, one, bring in great players, retain our players, which we've done a great job of in 3 years. And, that's the first thing that, I talked to AD Dan and President Russ was, I want to keep our great players and I want to keep our coaches here. I don't want to lose, to other schools, guys that we have in the building that are Broncos and have done a great job. And I think we're going to be able to keep a core group of guys. Most of the core group of guys who have eligibility left. I anticipate them coming back, and a lot of those guys have said, "Hey, coach, let's go win a bowl game." So I think they're focused on the right things right now, going 1-0 this week. But also the guys who have eligibility left, want to come back and continue to elevate and go, try to continue to win and capitalize on a special season. And listen, there is no defending a championship. You have to win it again next. You can say defending champs, but next year, there's a new team, there's a new set of obstacles, adversity, and things that we'll have to overcome. And we will worry about that when we get there. But the momentum from a recruiting standpoint, from a keeping our own players and staff here, I think that part is real.
Coach, you get a little bit of a breather after the MAC title game. Does that change your preparation, your practice, and just the vibes of going into this bowl game?
Yeah, I think yes and no, Matt. It changed it for a short period of time. Basically this was finals week for our students. So, here at WMU, we still believe in them being student athletes. I think it's important, one of the things that I sit down and talk with them about and their parents when they come here is, we want them to be champions on and off the field. And that means getting your degree. And so, this week has been a focus of one, finishing strong in the classroom. I think we have 10 guys graduating tomorrow, which is a huge accomplishment and a huge deal. It's a huge honor. and some of them are first generation graduates, which, to me that changes lives and families. And so, we're really proud of the work that one of our our academic staff has done, our operations staff, Paige Robbins, Lee Menifee, making sure that we stay on top of our guys, that they're even though you're chasing a championship and you want to go 1-0 and the focus is football, it also has to be on the student part of athlete first. So to answer your question, we allowed a little bit of time this week to make sure we focused on our finals. Then we had some, non-travel or development practices here the last couple of days where we got some young guys, some great work. We had a scrimmage this morning at 7:30 a.m. I thought that they came in and did an excellent job. We're in the indoor. Our coaches did a great job, making sure that they were ready to go. But also, the energy, sometimes when you come off of a little bit of a break, trying to get guys back going. They were ready to go. They were excited. I appreciate, the competitive spirit that they brought. And then we will bring our, the full team in tomorrow and start preparation on Kennesaw State. And that will get back into a normal game week mode. So now we'll get back into, our 6-out, 5-out, 4-out practice. We'll travel on Monday to the bowl site. Once we get down to the bowl site, we'll go a 3-out, 2-out, 1-out, and then game day on Friday.
I know the mentality is 1-0, but in a special season, to achieve something only one team, another team in program history would be able to be. What would that mean? To get a 10th win.
I think it's special. One, to win a championship and be the only the fourth team in program history. I think people around here, are excited because they know how hard. It's so hard to win. So many things have to align. So many things, have to happen. In order for you to be able to go, do something so significant to win a conference championship. And that's the thing that I've had, that I've been grateful for as I've had chance, since the game on Saturday. It's a whirlwind. I don't even know that you process it on the field, actually what's happened and what you've accomplished. But over the next couple of days, just really looking back at the season and, all the things that, and all the people that it took to win this championship. Again, it took everybody, pulling in the same direction and being on the same page and fighting for the same goal and not worrying about what not I or me, but worrying about we, I think is really special and it's really hard to do. And so, I challenge our players, and I say I challenge, we took a little bit of time in our team meeting after the championship game when we got back, really just to reflect. Because I wanted them to understand and realize how special this is. And it really is the journey and how many things that they had to overcome, how much adversity that they had to overcome, and how many things, had to go our way, so to speak. But they made that happen because they worked for it. I don't believe in luck. I believe you make your own luck by how you prepare, and our guys prepared the right way, and that allowed us great opportunity and great favor in the season to capitalize when the opportunity was there. And so to your point, Matt, yes, it is very special to be able to go win 10 games, something only one other team in history has done in 120 years of playing football. Only one other team has done, is to continue to write history. And, we talked early in this season and at a couple points about, legacy. And I think that's part of the legacy that this team wants to leave is one, not only winning a MAC championship, but going out as winners. Yes, it's important to win our 10th game, but I tell you what, to end the season with a win and a bowl win sends you into the offseason with so much more momentum as opposed to not winning your bowl game, and really puts a damper on the offseason, as a competitor. And, that's what happened to us last year. We want to make sure that, we end on the right note this year.
I'll be the first to admit it. I did not know where Kennesaw State was. I had to look it up, and knowing that it's from your home state, I was just curious. Did you ever get recruited by this college through your high school career? So
I didn't. I knew. I didn't know a ton about Kennesaw State other than I know Coach Jerry Mack. I knew a little bit of their history. So they've only had a football program for 10 years. And so when, I'm a little bit older than that. I know I look young, but, no, they did not many people recruited me, Matt. I was a walk-on. I was one of those, underlooked, overachieving guys. So I have been all my life, still doing it. I'm a walk-on for life.
Love it. This last thing is you touched on the quarterback, but just what makes him so dynamic? He's got 2,500 yards passing, I think over 700 yards rushing on the season. What kind of challenge does that pose to your defense?
I think the quarterback's one of the most talented players and quarterbacks we've faced all year. He's 6'4", he's tall, he's long, he can make all the throws. He's got special arm talent, but he's also really dynamic as a runner. And he he probably is the best quarterback that we faced all year, but they also have some pieces around him, some skill guys that create those explosive plays. He does a great job, distributing the ball to them. And when it's not there, that's why he doesn't take sacks. He does a great job moving and scrambling in the pocket, ad-libbing. He's got a great feel and great football IQ. And I think the thing that he does best is doesn't put the ball in jeopardy. When they've won close games, he's been able to be at his best when, the game is on the line. And, you can tell the guys around him in that huddle feed off of his energy and his leadership. They play really hard for him. And he has that it factor. He believes that they can win no matter what the score is.
As you watch Kennesaw State, Coach, do they compare to anybody that you've played so far this season?
I think they're very different than really anybody we've played. The closest comparison would be North Texas, and I say that just because of the style of offense that they play, because of the quarterback play. We went into that North Texas game knowing that, hey, that they could score points in bunches. The quarterback is really good, and that they had playmakers around them. The defense creates those, havoc plays, which we talked about. And so, I hate comparing teams. Listen, this team won their conference and won 10 games, so they're a pretty special team in their own right, and they are still even different than North Texas, just in the way that they play and the speed that they play and the style of game that they play. This is going to be a really tough matchup that we will have to play. We'll have to prepare really well because it is so different for us, and then we're going to have to play and execute really well.
And you have a history with Coach Mack. Could you kind of share that?
Yeah, Coach Jerry Mack, when I was coaching, for the New York Jets, Coach Jerry Mack did an internship and a fellowship with us, and he had become a close friend after that, him and his family. Great person, great human being, great coach, and he's been a head coach before. Just came from the Jacksonville Jaguars as the running backs coach. So, got a ton of respect for him. And, I think what he's done this year is incredible, to take a, 2-win team and go to 10 wins, win your conference. I'm going to ask him how he did it so quickly.
Is getting a team ready for a bowl game comparable to getting them ready for a championship kind of game?
I wish it was comparable. I think one of the hard things with bowl games, and I learned this last year, and I knew it even as an assistant, I think bowl games are awesome because it gives you postseason play, and it gives kids an opportunity. Like most of the guys in our locker room last year had not been to a bowl game. A couple, very few of them had. So it's a great opportunity, but it also comes with a lot of distractions. And the distractions aren't necessarily bad. They're great. You do community events while you're there. They have bowl events, and it's all great and it's positive. But being able to get your team to, hey, when it's time to have fun, let's have fun. But when it's time to lock in, let's lock in and get to work and be about business. I think this team is a little bit more mature than teams that we've had. Just in terms, they fought that throughout the last part of the season, just going 1-0, and so I do think from that standpoint, they can block out the noise, really focus on the task at hand once we get down there and get closer to game time. But you do want, that's where as a coach you do want your guys to be able to have fun. It is something that you want to celebrate, to be able to get to a bowl game, and so you want them to have fun, but you also know that winning is fun too. And it's not very fun when you lose your last game of the season.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Go Broncos.